Hey, Parsippany, it's Officer D'Alessandro, your Community Relations Officer, and I'm here today with Lieutenant Pomeroy, who's in charge of our communications. We're here to tell you a little bit about a communication platform that's enhancing our 911 system. It's called Rapid SOS. So Lieutenant Pomeroy could definitely explain this better than I can. If you want to explain maybe how we came about getting this system.
Rapid SOS is a platform that we use to help us with our 911 calls. We take the 911 call into the system, and it goes into the Rapid SOS system where it can provide better GPS location as to where the caller is. Years ago, cell phone data and all that, it was using triangulation with cell towers, and it was a little bit accurate, but not as accurate as what Rapid SOS has. They use a GPS system where you can almost push to where the person is sitting inside a particular building. That's the location, so it's very accurate.
So yeah, like I remember when I was back on patrol, if we had like a missing juvenile or endangered, kid or something like that that went missing, we can only get a certain, mile radius basically of the nearest tower, right? With a cell phone, is that how that works?
Correct. It works off a tower and direction.
So even if I was like, let's say, in a neighboring jurisdiction and I call 911, but it bounced off of the tower there, it could not potentially come to Parsippany in that case, correct?
It depends on what side of the tower it goes on when you're talking about a border.
So now with Rapid SOS, if it does hit the correct tower and it comes to Parsippany's communication center, which is at our headquarters.
Right, and that's called the PSAP. It's a public safety answering point, which Parsippany is the primary one for. Right. And it will give us the information as to where the caller is actually calling from, the actual location.
Okay. So simultaneously, so let's, because I'm not, obviously I've seen the system and kind of, the workings of it, but I'm not too versed in it. So when somebody calls 911, does that simultaneously come up together with 911, like to show the map?
So in the beginning, we had just a platform where you would have to type in the phone number. Now we have the system where it's integrated so that it pops up with what they call a pin on a map.
Okay.
So the telecommunicator who's sitting at his screens inside our dispatch center, they have the Rapid SOS open, and as the 911 call comes in, the pin comes on the map at the same time, showing the exact location where the caller is calling from.
Okay. And just to clarify for the viewers, this is cell phone only and mobile phone only.
Correct, yeah. Cell phone is probably about 80% of our calls now, and we have the highways and all the other local areas too as well.
Right, because obviously landline, you're going to be where the landline is, I would imagine, right? Correct. So it's mobile phone, you're obviously mobile. So when that comes in, now, do all mobile phones have the capability? For like it's already in the system, you don't have to.
Not all the phones have it as of yet.
Okay.
So we had a young lady come in from a television program earlier in the year, and we did a little demonstration like that. She uses it as a backdrop, and in that you can see where a cell phone call comes in. It displays Rapid SOS on our 911 screens.
Okay.
That the phone is capable for Rapid SOS.
Okay. So as a user, as a cell phone user, do you have to do anything specific? And I know about we're going to get into like how to enter some emergency information in a minute, but as far as actually just having your phone pop up on this map, do the users have to do anything?
No, there's nothing that the user has to do. Google and Apple have all partnered in to get this into their phones.
Nice. So
that it's there already.
Okay, cool. So with that being said, now I know recently you had said there was an incident where a woman was lost
believe it or not, I know that we talk about a lot of development in Parsippany, but we do have a lot of wood area in the town. We have the Troy Meadows, plus we have an area up on what they call Powder Mill in Greystone. And we had a young lady who went in. Unfortunately, this time of year, she went in late in the afternoon when it was light out. And now that it's getting dark earlier, she couldn't find her way out because it got too dark too fast. So she called 911, and we got her information through Rapid SOS, so we knew pretty much exactly where she was in the wood line. And we're able to direct the emergency service personnel to go in and find her and then get her out safely.
So you can literally be on the other end of the radio as a patrol officer, really walking in the woods and getting information from the PSAP.
Yes.
Saying, keep going.
If you're on this trail, she's showing, at this particular time, she was like on this side of the brook, so we knew exactly where she was.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
All right, so I mean, the only real, other than general knowledge for our community, an added feature to this is the emergency health profile. So by going to emergencyprofile.org, and we'll post that on here, they could sign up and give what kind of information that will go along with that?
So I've signed up for myself. It's your name, your address, your phone number, your email address. You can provide whatever type of information you want medically, whatever kind of medical conditions you have. any medications that you take, and if you have like any type of allergies to medications, that would be important to know for the first responders coming to help you. And then there's also emergency contact information. So if you have, unfortunately, need to call 911 in an emergency, and we get it on the Rapid SOS system, we'll have access in a panel, like a screen side on it, and it'll say that, the name of the person calling, phone number, and any kind of information that we have that you have input into the system.
So pretty cool. I remember when I was reading a lot about this, I think they were saying, like, if you have a vehicle that has that feature where it calls 911 upon impact of crash, if you're not able to do it, the vehicle
I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with OnStar. OnStar has things where you're involved in a crash. It's airbags, seat belts when they activate real fast, intentions. They will dial the OnStar, and then they will contact them with their operator, and then they will call us and say, listen, my client or person has been involved in a crash at such a location. Please send help or whatever is needed.
So if that motorist already entered all their information in the emergencyprofile.org, then all that stuff will come up as well?
I'm not 100% sure with that with the OnStar. This is brand new. This
Right.
is a brand new thing. I know it's definitely tied to the phone number that they can input, and it'll be tracked that way. I'm sure down the road, once things start coordinating and getting better, that information will get tied together as well.
Okay. Yeah, I remember reading up on some of this, that even 911 in the history of communication is still relatively new per se. Is like the 60s it came out, something like that.
I believe it was around 68 was the first 911 call.
So in the grand scheme of things, this is
but it's
light years ahead now, which is great.
It's really
in a
light
short
years
amount
ahead.
of time. Yeah.
There's a lot of other platforms out there that use 911 stuff. They're talking now that if your Apple Watch, if you go down, it senses a fall. That it'll have the ability to call 911 and let you know, hey, the wearer of the watch or whoever has the watch on now is down on the ground, and to send help.
It's pretty cool. So make sure you guys look into the emergency profile and on the Rapid SOS system, so you can get some information in there that could assist you in the time of an emergency. The only other thing I really wanted to touch base on, because I get a lot of questions when I do these presentations about text 911. So I know there's like only certain capabilities, and I don't know if Parsippany has that.
It depends on the area that is able to be text. Right now, the state police is handling us for text. If you have a text, it goes down to them, and then they coordinate with us. Okay, ideally, the best bet is to call 911, because then we'll have the exact location. Plus, you'll be talking directly to the local PSAP, whether us or somebody that's in the area. Okay. The biggest thing to make sure is the location. The first question the person on the phone is going to ask you is where your location, or what is the address of your location. And that's the most important thing. This way we can start sending help wherever we need.
Yeah, okay, great. That's one of the things, aside from Rapid SOS, just basic 911 tips, is to make sure you can try and get that. Let's say you're in a situation where you can't really talk, or you can't, even like a whisper, the most important thing would be just that location, like to get, just in case, right?
Correct.
Other stuff doesn't go with it as like a fail-safe.
We also, with Rapid SOS, with the platform that we use as well, it also tracks you. So for example, we have a lot of calls that come in from the highway, reporting an accident or erratic driver, drunk driver, that kind of thing. It takes your first location and puts a pin on a map. And then it starts leaving breadcrumbs. So it trails you as to where you're going.
Oh, cool.
So as long as that line's open like that, we can still follow the trail as to where the car's going. So if they're going 80 east, they get off on 287 south, or wherever, it'll make a trail of it as to where it's going.
Nice.
So we can hopefully get officers to wherever the need of it.
All right, great. If anybody has any questions, feel free to email us at socialmedia@parpolice.com. And we can further elaborate if you're missing any information here. But I think we've pretty much covered this remarkable feature. And thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Thanks, Lieutenant Pomeroy, for being here.